Yo, what is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about how I kind of gained over around 2 million views in the last month. This is kind of like a progression method for getting monetized. So this is going to be like the second channel that I'm mainly focusing my attention on. Kind of just going over like what videos are performing well, and then kind of updating you guys on how you can convert those views into like recurring subscribers. And then next thing you know, you can start uploading videos that can also help engage with your long form content. So that way you can at least get paid something higher rather than shorts. So I just want you guys to stay to the end, and I'm gonna kind of talk about it right now. So coming down to the top content going over. One thing I do want to focus on is kind of like the 60-second minute versus 48-hour rule. So if my 48-hour rule has like consistency, like if I'm getting consistent views every hour, I kind of always understand like, am I pushing out quality content versus like withering content? I'll show you like a big difference between like my main channel, which is this one. So we can go to views and then see more, and then kind of go down to content dashboard, analytics. Let's see. Third. So compared to this one and then the my main, you can see how my main account that I had like over for a year that was monetized has 50,000 subscribers right here. And then when we take a look at like this one mainly, it's almost like kind of short out to only 1,000 around every hour. So that would just be something I would focus on. So it just kind of compares like why certain content is performing well in the last hours, and like is it kind of like having longevity like on the past 60 minutes? Is it kind of like still being consistent without like dying off like these videos? But kind of just focusing on like consistency and like what am I able to change or like do something else different with the content. So it just depends. So I might be like try to focus on something else different with that. So just looking about the one that's been like successful so far this past couple months. So we're just looking at like this one, which if we take a look at the analytics where it kind of has like good progression for like how long it's been out, which has only been like a day. And yet in that last like 2 days from May 24th to today, which is May 25th, it just has long longevity. And then you can kind of see like why. You can see like the actual like video per second and like what to analyze. So one thing I will strongly suggest is having a strong hook. So having that strong hook can always like reach your audience pretty well. Let me refresh it real fast. So as you can see, like when it goes to like the vidIQ stats, right here where it says like, and then going to like the engagement, and then looking at the comments over here, and kind of just like always making sure like they're always like saying the same answer. People are always getting engaged. It just depends on like the kind of content that is being pushed out. So this is like the content that I always would focus on. But things may change. Maybe it's not monetized. That's another thing that is kind of like hard to like grasp. So the one of the biggest things that you can do to test if your video could be monetized is you can go to monetize checker. Monetize. You can go here, paste, research. So one thing that it will, this is kind of like an issue that I kind of had to run into like the new YouTube policies or YouTube monetization policies. So just looking at this, so I wouldn't like be you can also double check another like source. So let me look up another YouTube monetization. So based on these stats, it just depends. So like we just have to kind of like see if this has potential to be like monetized content. So just keeping it up with that whole progression. And then looking kind of at more of my top content and like why like certain videos are performing well. Like this one has been performing well. We can look at it with the analytics. And then this one kind of like peaked, so it stacked. Reached a stagnation so far. So like within the last like couple hours or so, within the last day, it kind of just hit like a peak. That's kind of bad when it comes to like anything. So, however, it just says that it's still good, but we're just kind of see like why it has such high retention. And I do keep them shorts. I do keep them short. So it has a strong hook. So as soon as it fades in, people are already attracted to what it's saying. 90% of people make this mistake riddle, which changes keeps the stone from falling, and one, and then most people will argue that it's two, 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 two. Same engagement. But otherwise, that's basically it. The one thing I did want to like reach out and talk to you guys about is just focusing on what kind of content you want to bring out. So like one of the biggest things is how to make faceless content like I do. So if you stay to the end, I'm going to show you guys how I would do it personally. So if I go to YouTube and then if I just want to like go on my phone or the computer, I go to shorts and then I just kind of see like certain videos like anime clips, like this one,
Both feet off
this
the
one's pretty long.
ground? Oh
This
yeah,
one's
that's
pretty long,
game.
where it's just commentary. But mostly these are just clips,
Anyone else want to
edited
join the
in some like fashion. And then always importantly, it's more important to kind of like always use current like music like this one. You can use current music like this, just inspiration that kind of gets a lot of like focus. So it just depends. It doesn't have to be niche based, but it does help like when it comes to like new current music that is trending, you always kind of like have to like look at what's working or versus what's not working. Like when it comes to sounds, we're using shorts types of sounds. So sounds are important when it comes to shorts, but when it comes to like long type of or content, it just doesn't depend. It doesn't depend on any type of music. But that's gonna be basically it. If you guys do want to see more, I believe there's gonna be a playlist like right here that you guys can see, and then if you guys want to subscribe right here.